Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome back. We met, Wednesday. I am your new instructor for those that were not in class Wednesday. I did send you an email earlier, an announcement that went into Blackboard, and it went to your College Lake County email. So make sure you are checking not only Blackboard, the announcements for this course. Business 121, Section 13, meets on Mondays and Wednesdays from 2:30 to 3:45. And let's see what else we have. In E 125 at the College of Lake County. We have a lot to cover. I'm going to try to keep this under 15 minutes. So you already have the new updated syllabus was sent to you with an it's in the announcement and also sent to your College of Lake County email. Some of you already had an opportunity to look at it. I've already received some questions. One of the questions that people ask, are we going to have a discussion board, a forum all the time? You'll have it interactively. This course is a resemblance of what you'd be exposed to in the business situation. Most of the discussions will be in-class assignments and discussions in class for preparation. So let's go. Some of you, I already looked. I got one or two individuals that have never even logged into Blackboard. Very disappointed in that. So that just tells me one thing: you're not planning on staying on. The draft date was yesterday, September 6th. If you didn't drop the class, you have now you're in this class. You could drop all the way to November or something, but you will not get any refunds or any money back. So if you already spend the money, either you or your family or your company spend the money, might as well just take the class and complete this. This class will be very interesting. It's be a fast pace. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit to get you up to where you should be at this time. I've already made adjustments to your LearnSmarts, and I made adjustments to your syllabus and the homework requirements. So everything is already in place that I was doing today. I've talked, as I talked to you before, I talked to McGraw-Hill, the publisher and the programmers. Blackboard will stay I've been able to take over Blackboard from your professor, Francisco. The thing that is going to go on now is your McGraw-Hill. I am tied in on his Blackboard, and so some of you already did your homework. A couple of your LearnSmart assignments that he had a little bit turned around to the way I was going to do it is just in the order. It makes more sense for me when I'm talking about finance, accounting, that you have any basic understanding about a business, about economic. So then when you talk about the financial aspects of how you do pricing and you do other things with accounts receivable and balance sheets and cash flows, you already understand the business area, why those numbers or where those numbers are generated from, so it makes more sense to do the accounting. So I adjusted that. Those of you who completed your LearnSmart, I think there's only 13 individuals out of 20, because when I got the roster, remember when I handed out the folders, I had 30 students, because that's the last time your professor checked that. It basically showed 30, and then when I came back I only had 20, so 7 already out of 30, 7 already dropped the class prior to when we met for whatever reason, and it could have been conflict, whatever. Remember, everything that's going on in this class is the same thing that's going on in other classes. When I'm looking at the homework assignment, the number of exams, the papers and everything else, is just I do a little different papers, a little different format. I try to bring in more of a collective learning. Remember, the classes I do, I will go over real quickly, but I am not here to go step by step. You're out of high school, you're at a college level. Mine is to improve your critical thinking skills. I will provide you, and I'll show you how I provide you all the tools that you'll be able. I'm just reinforcing what we discussed last Wednesday, reinforcing that you have the tools and everything else. Class time is used to take those concepts, because you already did your LearnSmart assignments, you already read the book, and you did some assessments that we talked about, and now you're able to take what you've learned, and we'll have discussions within the classroom. How do you apply this learning, this new learning, to help you retain what you're doing? This is a foundational class, Introduction to Business. All 20 or 19 chapters that will be covered in this book are basically full-blown classes, 16 weeks or more. offered by the College Lake County. I teach management, once in a while finance, marketing. I teach at another college and also at the bachelor's level. So what I'm doing here is preparing you not only to be successful in this course, but also if you take other instructors, and so you're at least exposed to utilization of many of the aspects which Blackboard provides and a lot of instructors use here at the College of Lake County. So let's get started. You basically, you're already logged in, you know how to go into your portal and everything else. By this time, you're ending week 3. So you're going to go into this class. If you notice, the class has changed. You have my name, my format. I am the new business owner. I am the new instructor. So now you'll have to take my flavor and the adjustment like we discussed in class. Like a hot dog, you buy a hot dog in a convenience store, you buy a hot dog at Portillo's, it's still the same hot dog. It's just amenities or the atmosphere of how it's designed, but it's still the same materials covered. I presented more of what I like to present as a learning organization, collaborative learning. So you learn how to work within teams, you learn to help each other, you learn networking, you learn how to communicate both in the classroom and in a forums, a discussion board, in a viral environment with most of the students. You already know how to do it. You do your Twitter accounts, your Facebook, Vine, and other social network platforms out there. I basically stress more of LinkedIn. It's a professional one. So let's go into your course, and I'll show you what I've done. Okay? You're going to come in here, and again, you have my face, you have all the information. Here's the announcement I sent to you, Wednesday. So you already had that. I gave it to you as soon as I got back to make sure that you could still make your determination before the drop date. I did not change the drop date. It was the same drop date that your professor had on his syllabi. I just made some arrangements. Like a new boss comes in and he or she arranges the furniture or some of the processes, but I'm still the same business, the same materials being covered, and just in maybe a little different format. Okay, so what I did, I made it very easy for you. Just similar to what I do on my online class, and my face-to-face class, and my blended class. I teach the same course here on Fridays, and Fridays they're already in chapter 8. That's where they should be. On my online class, it's an 8-week class. They're already in chapter 16 going forward. So they're doing the same amount of work in a smaller time. You'll do well in this class. You have to do the homework on time. Business is driven by due dates. And I'll give you more, the first week I'm in here, I'm giving you adjustments so you have enough time to catch up. But you can't just say I'm going to do it all at the end. There's no way you'll be successful, not only in my class or in any class you take at the College of Lake County. You have to learn how to manage your time. And if you're not sure, the students' activities have workshops and seminars for students how to take exams, how to manage your time, and how to utilize Blackboard or other online facilities that are available to the students to make you more productive and to mirror what is expected in the business environment. Okay? So let's look right at it. You got the revised syllabi. I'm not going to go through that. You look at it. I discussed it. Everything else is basically the same. Some of the homework has changed and some of the due dates has changed. So we'll do fine in that. You're looking at it. All your work you're going to find in week 3. But before I go into week 3, some students already been going through the LearnSmart homework. It says Smart Book. I changed it so students could see what it mirrors to the same thing that's called in my syllabi or in the other syllabus, so you know exactly where to find the stuff. But if you're new to Blackboard, or some of you just finally signing out, oh my God, there's so much to learn, I put it in a one-stop shopping, and I'll show you that first. But for those of you who have already been in there and now in the LearnSmart, the McGraw-Hill Connect LearnSmart is an integrative software, and that's for you to get the first exposure. You read the chapter. I'll show you where my YouTubes are for each chapter. Look at them. You'll be able to, I provided you with concept maps or mind maps. You add on to them, and then you take the LearnSmart. The LearnSmarts were set up in an hour and a half. I brought them down to like 35 minutes, 40 minutes at the beginning, so you'll have enough time to do it. And then with that, then you'll see how much you know. And then in the class, we'll reinforce that learning and discuss it within the classroom through exercises and everything else. So the LearnSmarts, they're worth 190 points. I think it's like 23% of your grade is your LearnSmart. So if you haven't started, do it right away. Now, for those of you who have not started, because you say because the financial aid hasn't come in, Professor Franco, even myself, I reinstated that you could do the LearnSmart for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks, and basically as a free trial, so you don't fall behind on your homework. And then after the 3 weeks, hopefully your financial aid comes in, or your paycheck or something else, and you buy the book. It's worth $83 or $92, a good deal. You get the Smart book, the electronic version of the book. You get a hard copy or a loose sleeve that you put in a binder, and you have and you get the integrated software. You cannot beat that deal. You must buy that here at the College of Lake County, because that's the only place you're going to get that. Is the offering and the agreement they have with McGraw-Hill at that time when they introduced the new book and the software that comes with it to help you learn. Integrative learning, okay? All right, so here's where we're at. So the LearnSmart. Those of you saw the LearnSmart before, I just basically changed the titles. LearnSmart, 190 points, Smart Book. That's how the other professor had it. Update, clicked it. You click on it. You remember, now the reason he did this, the same reason I did this, you already have the LearnSmart in the order. Look at the service dates. When it means the service dates, that you have to have it by that date. On the chapter 4, 5, and 6 is due next week. By Wednesday, hopefully I gave you an extension to Friday, but don't wait. You've had the weekend. It should take an hour and a half. It's the easy chapters. One is on ethics, and the other ones is how to form a business and entrepreneurs. Most books, I teach in another university, and the chapter 5 and chapter 6 is combined together. This author just split it up, so it's very manageable. I'm not going to cover I know the other professor, you did chapters accounting, and you're kind of starting up in financial management. You didn't finish it, a little bit in there. So you haven't been you didn't invest too much in some of that. Those who did that LearnSmart for as required, I think you had till September 12th. That's gone. I updated the date. It's, if you look at it, those chapters are thrown here at the back, and they're now due November 15th. Those of you who've done it, everything is good. When I talk to the publisher, your grade and everything's in there. It may not be showing in Blackboard, but when you go into McGraw-Hill, instead of returning back to Blackboard, when you click on the homework assignment, you go into your, for lack of better words, your home page, and go into the library, and then you have your performance, and you'll see the grades there. When it comes closer to the grade, I will basically open it up so you can see it. The grades in Blackboard is just you don't view it. A lot of students see all the grades, and they don't know what to do. They go, oh my goodness, it's missing. I give you the grades and the homework as it's doing, just like work. You're on there. So make sure you check the grades. For some of you already told me, I won't be here 1 week. I've got some work requirements. Work ahead. The good thing about this, the only points you'll lose is your attendance points. I think it's 6 points for for coming to class and participating, not just sitting there like a wallflower. I will have interactions. We'll be working later on a team project. We'll be coming up as an entrepreneur, coming up with a new business venture or expanding a market, whatever the team decides, and you'll be working in groups of 4 or 5. I think there's 20 people in the class, give or take. Depends what happens to two that never sign up. I haven't seen them, so I'm not sure if they forgot they had the class. I did send them an email, so if you got the email, if you're not planning to take the class, I would withdraw very soonly. You already lost the money if you didn't withdraw now, but you won't get the F at the end of the semester. So if you already put the money, let's come back in here. I want you back in the classroom. You still have a good chance, because we're kind of like starting off from scratch. You'll be able to get your B's, A's, C's. You could still get your D if that's what you want, but the D is not transferable, so you might as well at least try for the C. In business, you always try to do more than's required, and this is like a learning. All right, so here we go. Now you're going to go into, so what I just said by one-stop shopping, worry about all this other stuff. Right now, all you had to do, for those who are very new, when I talked to you Wednesday, most of you are brand new to college. You had no clue about Blackboard or anything else, so you're kind of not lost, but not sure. I'm just building up your confidence. So once you log in, you come in here, always make sure you check your grades and your LearnSmart. All your assignments going to be in the weekly assignment. That's where I want you to do. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to flip over and pretend I'm a student. I have like a fake account when I could go to see the view of a student. Before I go, remember, my profile's up here. I've got a link in week 3, and I'll show you. Click on it, a video for about a short YouTube for about 10-15 minutes, how to update your profile. That makes it better. So when you're doing any kind of discussion or when I'm grading, I'm not sure, man, I can't remember what the student looks like, either my class or other class. Your profile's there. That's almost acceptable, and everything else in business, most Outlook, Microsoft 10 and higher, they all have a profile. When I look at my Outlook, my picture's in there. Get used to it. This is business. That's an interaction. Your face, your personality working for a company, basically what brings people in. When you're doing the discussion board, it makes it easier for you to follow the threads. We're not going to be too much discussions, but you can set your profile just for this course. Those are easy 5 extra points. Not required. It's required for my online class, extra points. So do that, all these extra points. If you're behind a little bit, they come out. If you haven't done any LearnSmart, read my syllabus, my terms and conditions. If you have not done any of the LearnSmart, do not come to me at the end of the semester. Dr. George, how can I get extra credit? You haven't done the LearnSmart. You would have done the LearnSmart, you'll be coming to me for extra credit. No different than if you're a supplier and I'm a business owner and you've always late on your supplies or not delivering them on time, and then you come, hey, I need a little extra to make my bills. Would I give you another contract when you're not even making a commitment to the one there? No. All right? Remember, I understand there's some issues that may not happen, but you could do all this ahead of time and do it. If for some reason you missed a due date, you have to come to me and I'll do an extension. I'm already in your previous professor's LearnSmart. I haven't changed that because there was the pairing that you did at the beginning for those who did the LearnSmart. I think out of 20, only 13 are logged in that have an account in LearnSmart. The other 7 or 8, you better get going and click into LearnSmart and get that homework doing because you're going to lose points. All right? Okay, so here we go. I think it's like 20% is this interactive software. So I come in here. I'm going to go into student mode. So as you see, I'm going to look. You're only going to see, I want to see what you see. You got my announcement, your first quiz. And remember, this quiz, I want you to at least try it before Monday, because when you do your first exam, which was scheduled in your previous instructor, is just the chapters have changed a little bit, which ones I will be covering. I want you to see to make sure you understand how to go it. Those are extra points. I think it's 5 questions out of chapter 1, which you should have been, I think, already read. Some of you did. It's just like an intro chapter. And if you got 3 out of them, you got 3 extra points. You didn't want to do the quiz, no problem. You got 0 extra point. You got 5, you got 5 extra point. But when it comes for the exam, that's going to be in Blackboard, your first exam on Wednesday, and I'll talk after class, and you'll have a time frame from Wednesday to I think like Saturday, since like I said, I'm taking over the class and trying to get you into the transition mode. You'll have like from Wednesday to either do it all the way to Saturday. You could do it at home, you could do it in the library, you could or at your public library. But once you sit down, you'll have the time that's allotted for that quiz. It'll be a little bit longer than what you would have been doing if you were done in the classroom, since this is your first quiz. And I want you to do well, and then afterwards you'll be following the normal format for the quizzes. So I logged into I'm talking quickly because I want to keep it under, for lack of better words, under 20 minutes, okay? So I logged into LearnSmart. I logged into my course, Blackboard course management. Remember, I'm in the student mode. I come in there, I see you see there's my instructor. That's my new instructor. That's who I am. Okay, so now you come in here, and if you don't know anything else about anything else, I got lectures in here. You can look at lectures ahead of time, other than in the homework that I make the links to them. All my lectures are in there. They're an hour-long lectures using the concept map. I talk a little bit slower, and you could go in there. Some students will take the lectures in an MP3 format also, plug them in, download them on your smartphone, and while they're driving or in between with their headphones, and you're learning. But remember, just be lecturing. You're better off if you get more of the senses going by writing and looking at my lectures and my presentation. So we're going to go into weekly assignments, and this is week 6. This is when we first came in. You saw week 6, and it says complete the quick quiz. It's up to you, and an introduction to the class, a quick discussion board, so you know how to use discussion. We're going to do most of our discussion will be inside the classroom, but once you start doing the group work, you'll be submitting your papers as a team in a group through Blackboard, and you may want to use the discussion board, because have you in groups, and you'll be allowed to use blogs between the groups. You could discuss, create threads only that your group will see. You'll be able to save your transfer files and everything else, similar than what you'll be doing at work as a small organization, or if you'd be a manager working in a team in a corporate or medium company, and you're dealing on a team and you're trying to communicate and pass information. Those are the skill sets you will learn out of this class. Whether you're taking myself or you're taking other instructors teaching Introduction to Business, this intro class is to give you a good solid foundation about business. Some of you, this will be the only class you're taking in business because it's required for your discipline. Others you'll be building out because you're going for business management, marketing, so now you know how the pieces fit in. Okay, so I'm going to click on here. I already clicked on here. Now, week 3, this should be done by Friday. I gave it to Saturday. You click on here. You have a very easy thing. You click on your practice quiz, 5 extra points. I explained that in class. I'm not going to go in here. You have your first discussion. I explained that in class, how to do the threads. You click on here like this, remember, and then you're going to come in here, and I already have a few people made the quizzes, all right? So you can look at that and you go, oh, okay, now I understand the information, and then you just create a thread, and then you start your own. You answer the questions. Hi, I'm from Chicago. Hi, from Chicago, whatever. Put your comments in here, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then you submit it. And then what you'll see, there I am, George Mochocki. And what I basically do was click on somebody else's and reply to them. You're required to at least reply to one of the student. And in the subject area, write something to somebody. The whole thing about communication in a discussion board or in business, how do I get people to respond to me? How do I get people to talk to me? How do I communicate to them? So this improves on your writing. And then remember, this is not a Twitter account. You should use capital letters. You address the individual. If it's Jennifer, say, hello, Jennifer. I believe, blah, blah. I'm from Chicago, too, or whatever it is. And then after you do your post and you reply, you create a discussion. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to find out a little bit about the class. I picked up a little bit later. I think the other professor might have had an introduction within the class, so he knew a little about you. I'm trying to find about you so I could form this class and address areas that I think you should know at your present job to your employer, so you could see, oh, that's what my boss is doing. That's what my company's doing. Okay, so we're done on that. So now you're gonna get out of the discussion board, right? And you're gonna come back to your weekly assignment. And remember, I got the links, so you could do all these things here or go directly in here. Usually go in here to see what other work that I have required for you. Always go into your weekly assignment. Always go into your Blackboard. Check your Blackboard. If you look on here, I don't have it in here, you'll have a number. A lot of instructors will post the due dates, and that is like your calendar within Blackboard. Use it. Here's a real quick short video how to update. Here's a link that I'm sending you now. You'll click on this link, and it'll basically 20 minutes, I think it is, and it'll show you how to update your profile in here. Easy, simple task. You'll be surprised. You never know, your next job may be from somebody seeing you in here. You could set your profile for this class, or you could set your profile for anyone in the College of Lake County Blackboard to see you. And the profile say, I'm going to be a marketing major. I'm looking for a job. Whatever you want to put in there, you know, I mean, try to put a professional picture in there. We talked about that in our class. So that's done for this week. I want this done by Friday, Saturday the latest. Give you a little time to catch up. Because now I'm going to go back to my weekly assignment. I finished with this. I got everything done. And now I'm going to go into week 4. This is for Monday. Monday, basically, you'll be reading chapter 4 and 5, so you have to do that over the weekend. Read it, so when we come to class and we're discussing ethics, and we'll be discussing about how businesses form, why businesses form, partnership. You know, when you do the LearnSmart and read the chapter, it makes more sense instead of me just telling you stuff, and you go, duh, what does that mean? Duh, what does it mean? At work, you're prepared before you come to the meeting. I'm prepared before I meet with my clients, so I understand. I do some research. First exposure. You don't have to understand it. I want you to see the term. And then you ask me, what don't I understand? Well, could you explain this a little more, Dr. George? I'm not in high school where I regurgitate what you should have read. You come in here to discuss and to learn and to build on what you read through the interactive software, through the book, and then the discussion will solidify this. You're not going to be an expert in business when you finish this course, but you at least know the basic vocabulary and the basic functionality and the rationale while they're in place. So I'm going to click on, remember, I'm a student. I'm clicking on this one, and here's what we have. The homework reading, I just already talked about that. You have read Chapter 4, Chapter 5, starting a business, and LearnSmart assignments by Friday. Usually the LearnSmarts after this week, because you have your exam, when we go into week 5, your LearnSmart, I think we'll be covering Chapter 7 and 8. So, then we'll be back to kind of a normal 2 chapters per week. So on Monday, you'll be required to have your LearnSmart completed before the class starts on Monday. And then Wednesday, you'll be required to have the LearnSmart completed by that day. Otherwise, you'll be late and penalties will be taken off on you. So remember, if you, for some reason, something happens, not working, and you have problems, you call Connect, get an incident number. They'll email me and let me know that there's an issue here, and I'll make the adjustments. But I can't do anything until you make the contact. Or if you have a problem logging into Blackboard, you call the Blackboard help desk. If you go into this IT information area, right next where the main cafeteria is on the first floor, there's a little window. You press the button, the doorbell there, or whatever, and they'll help you. Or go to your Students Activity Center where you registered at, and there is students will guide you and assist you. We want you to be successful at the College of Lake County. This is a new experience for everyone. A lot of students, when they graduate from the College of Lake County, they're very successful in four-year universities because they got the skill sets, they've been exposed to everything else, they know how to do online, inline, at least do the course management systems, they know how to research, their writings increase, their confidence is built. We work with you, but we don't coddle you, okay? Okay, so you have your LearnSmart assignments. What I did here, I created the links for those who don't know how to go in here. For those of you who have not logged into Connect LearnSmart, your first time you click in on any of the assignments, it's going to ask you for a passcode. At that time, if you have a passcode that came with the book, because you purchased the book, and it's the only way you get the passcode. If you buy the passcode outside, you buy the book someplace else, it does not come with the passcode. If you buy the passcode, it's like $150. Get the book, the passcode here for $90. It's the best deal you can. If you don't have it, you click on it for the passcode. It'll say, I want the trial period, or it goes something like, you're going to pay for it, and it gives you the trial period. You click on the trial period, and you'll have 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks until that time ends, but you still could do your homework and everything else, and then they'll require you with the passcode. So when you click on this, it'll take you to the LearnSmart. It'll take you out of this screen. It'll take you to the McGraw-Hill platform and their website, and you enter the passcode, and that's the only time you have to enter the passcode, and everything else you already be paired. Some of you already have Connect or LearnSmart for other classes, and you'll see the same assignments or different courses there, but this is how you pair like your headphones to your smartphone. This is how you do the first pairing to get into the software. All right? So you have that, or you could come in right in here directly. So remember, all this means when you see this, that's the link. Now, you go in here, so you did the LearnSmart, you're all good. You could either come back here to weekly assignment and find it, or look up here. I go back here, weekly assignment. I'm in week 4. I click back here, and so I've done this, the LearnSmart. You have 2 quick assessments I want you to complete by Monday. Shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes. This is for part of the interactive discussion. When you come into the class, you're going to do an assessment. So what you do, you click on here, and you have an assessment, one in ethics, and the other one's in corporate preferences. I'll do on this one, you come in here, you answer the question, blah, 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 and then when you finish it, you submit it, you'll get a score. When you submit it, you print that, you come to class, and we'll discuss, what kind of preference you have. Are you, would you rather work for a responsive company? Would you rather work for a company that's performance goal-orientated? Or would you rather work for a relationship type of a company? Just several different type of preferences, and that's kind of to tie in some of the chapters. What should I work in a corporation? Should I work for a small business? Or should I be an entrepreneur and work for a smaller business? Okay, so you finish that, print it out. When you print it out, put your name on there, and you turn it in. And that's where we have discussion. You don't turn in the hard copy of this and just say, well, I think I was this. No points. You just lost, I think it's 4 points or whatever, 3 points for the assessment, for the discussion. Look, I make you do a lot of stuff that's fairly easy, but it's stuff that you see. Now I see why companies are doing it. And then we'll discuss about the assessments and other tools available. Okay? So I'm out of this, and I'm back in here, and then do the other one, and just do it, print it out. It's easy. I put the link here in case you have, sometimes it may not work where you're at because of the way you're set up or your firewall, whatever. Cut it out, put it into your browser, click it on there, work it. You could do this anywhere, either in the library. Remember, those of you new to the College of Lake County, I think you have $25 credit utilizing your ID card at the library to print out these like 500 pages. So we give you that access part of your student activities. Remember, in business, I told you nothing's for free. You're paid for it one way or the other. So utilize that. Some of you may not have computers or printers that have ink at home. Utilize the library, and they'll kind of assist you how to do the printing. Remember, with your ID card, and most of you, when you sign up, you should have already ID card because you went through the orientation. This is just refresher what the orientation was about. And if you didn't pay attention, now's a good time to learn. Okay? Are we good? So I'm back to week 4. Okay? You've got your 3 LearnSmarts, and I adjusted the time so you could do them well. All right? So it won't be the normal hour to do them. I brought them down. You still have an exposure to it. But, these chapters here are fairly easy. Shouldn't take you that hard. I figure a couple hours over the weekend, you'll be all cut up. And then what will happen when we go week 5, you'll be cut up to my other classes that I'm teaching. So it makes it easier because when I bring the material in, I'm already prepared for that lecture, and we're on board going forward. It'll slow down a little, and it'll be more interesting and exciting. Pretend you just got your first job, you moved in, and you're in a hurry, and then it's still going to be a faster pace, but it'll be more, it's still manageable now. That's why I extended some of the due dates and everything else. Okay, for those of you, again, you click on here. These are short lectures. These are lectures I come on. You click on here, and you go on here, and you basically have me talking. I have my concept maps. You could turn the volume off, and some people just use my concept maps, and they just follow along, and you have everything you're looking at, what I have, and it goes on. All right? So these are tools for you. This one here is, I forgot how many minutes it is, 49 minutes, 41 minutes, 48 minutes. These are added tools. I do this for my online classes. You never meet me, but some people read, they do with the LearnSmart, they know the material. Other individuals like to have a lecture. This is a traditional lecture on a slower pace. Also, for a lot of people in the class, or several people in the class, English is second language. English is second language for me. My primary language was Polish, so I understand it's not easy. Sometimes I mess up some of the words, but so for those who are English second language, as Dr. George Mochocki talks very fast. It's not that I'm nervous. I'm just a hyper type of energetic type of individual. I understand that. I can't slow down. I have to cover so much material. Make sure you get it in there. So, because I got people who are need to be very slow. I need some individuals say I'm too slow. I should speed it up. This is another way of getting the material, getting everything else through the traditional way, and you could do it at the leisure at your home and listen to me in your spare time when your mind is clear, you don't have that anxiety. I give you this for my online class. I already created them, so I'll make these available to you. Again, you have all my lectures. Those of you who want to go ahead and do the LearnSmart, you're going to look at my lectures first. Look, if you do the lectures, read the book, listen to my lectures, or read the lectures, and then do the book. However you want to do. Everyone learns differently, and then you take this information and then the LearnSmart. The LearnSmarts are set up for half an hour. If you know the material, it's interactive software. Bam, you could be done in 15 minutes. If you don't know the material, ask you how comfortable you are with the material. You say I don't have a clue. It'll take you the full half an hour or an hour. If you read the material and says I'm kind of so, and you do it, and it'll ask you the questions. You'll start asking some of the harder questions, and if you know that, you could finish in a shorter period of time. If you miss up on a question, it'll ask you once or twice, and then finally it'll take you to the ebook, which is nice about the software, take you to the area, and here's what the author says, read it, and then you say okay, and then as you're doing the homework, it'll just come up, and it'll basically come back up again and ask that question again, just throws it in there for you to see, oh yeah, I remember it. A reinforcement, repetition, the software. There's no time limit on the software. I mean, you could turn it on, turn it off, and come back another day. The only time limit you have is the due date. Once this date comes, it's gone. Are we okay? So chapter 4 I gave you to the 9th. So I gave you I think the Saturday. I want you to get it going. And the other ones, I think I gave you, they're all to the 9th, and this one to the 13th, because these are easy chapters. You should do this over the weekend. Start now. That's why you get into this recording from me. Are we good? Oh, no, this is when I did it. I'm sorry. I apologize. 2015. I thought it was in the LearnSmart. These are my lectures. You're fine. You can listen to these over and over again. Your LearnSmarts have the due date on there. I apologize. And as I told those who look at my recordings, I don't edit any of my recordings. You get me as I would be in the classroom, maybe a little bit calmer. I'm trying to get a lot done. I'm already at 17 minutes, probably half an hour, but I want you to make sure, okay? So you finished, look at the lectures, and you're going back to week 4. I've done that. I've done the 2 things, and that's it. And you're done, and you're ready for week 5. Week 5 I haven't put in now because you're going to be starting week 4 after next, and then you're going to have an exam. I didn't put this in here yet because it's not open, but you'll see afterwards you're going to have exam 1. Exam 1, I will be covering chapters 4, 5, and 6. Even though you did 17, I'll cover it later on because it makes more sense if you know something about business when it's talking about accounting, some of the functionalities. You're already exposed to some of the terms, some of the economics and everything else. It makes more sense to understand that. All right, so it's down at the end. So if you've done that homework for chapter, the accounting and finance in LearnSmart, that's already there. You just don't see it on Blackboard. You'll be all right. Okay, so that's everything you have. And remember, always check your grades. I updated your grades, so look at my grades. I'm a student, so I'm kind of looking. Oh my goodness, you always have your current grade. Your current grade. I'm only a C, and it's my class. I did this purposely, and the reason why. Now look, the LearnSmart is due September 16th, so I give you for chapter 4. I think I gave you to for next week, a Saturday or something. Even though it should be done by Monday. Chapter 4 and 5, but since we're going through the transition, some of you, there's a lot going on here, so I want to make sure you're successful and you've got a good solid foundation. Week 5, if you down the road, you don't have week 5 here, let's see, because I haven't showed it, I have it hidden. So week 5, you'll basically be required right before the class is done. So if we have, let's say week 5, we're going to be covering chapter 7 and 8. So Monday will be chapter 7, so your LearnSmart should be completed by then. And in week 5, we'll be doing, on Wednesday, will be chapter 8, and your LearnSmart should be completed before the class. So what I'm discussing is not all Polish to you. You mean a different language. You at least been exposed to the material. You may not understand it, and now in the class we tie that in. I water the seeds that were planted through LearnSmart and through your reading and through my videos, and that's how you learn. Okay? Good. So, and we utilize all senses: hearing, writing, talking, speaking, videos, and everything else. And I do a lot of, we do group work inside the classroom. We do group things. We do what they call collaborative learning organization. I'll show you video. Now, the other thing is, okay, now here, quiz. I only got 3 points on the quiz. Oh my goodness. I didn't know it. Those are 3 extra credit. That's why you see the number. The other one here is my forum. This just tells me there's other discussions that tells me I have to grade it. I just put the number in there because I didn't put it in there. But whenever you have this, that means I have to do a grading. The instructor, you have nothing to do with this, all right? Because if you click on it, it doesn't. I don't think it gives anything else because I'm a teacher. I can't grade myself. I'm just looking at the view. I got an A. That means I came in, I got my 6 points, and participated on Wednesday, and I didn't do my LearnSmart here, so I got an F. That's why I'm down in the C. And then here, I showed up on Wednesday. I got my other A. It's worth 6 points. You see, I tell you how much the points are worth. So if you got a B, hey, it's not a rocket science. It's the traditional grade. 100% to 90 is an A. 89 to 80 is a B. So and so by 10% going down, 10, 20, 30, 40. So just figure out that's the grade you have. I have to turn in the grades. I used to just have points. Points don't mean nothing to them. Well, I got points. I got 5 points. Oh, that's good. 5 points out of 50 is an F. 25 points. Oh, I get 25 points out of 50, still an F. So I give you the grade because that's how I have to turn in the grade. You'll always have your running grade here to date. This is current grade. So if you do something else or don't do something else, your grade goes up or down. Whenever you see a grade here on this week, I just made this up. For me, I wasn't here or I came in late. I do not give you the 6 points if you come in 10 minutes after class. You come in halftime, you get 3 points. You didn't participate. You came late to work. I deduct, just like at work. You have to learn the skill set. Remember, it's not fair for students to come in on time and you drag in or come in later. You could have some issues with the car. The points that when you look at the syllabus, I think there's 1,215 points. There's a lot, 1,215. There's a lot of points. A little 6 points, you can miss a couple classes, will not hurt your overall grade. Missing a lot of the LearnSmart at 10 points each. Some of the exams are 100 points each. 33 questions. You don't want to miss those. You want to do well on those exams. All right. So when you see this little talk, it says came late to class, 2 points taken off. I gotta make sure. I went real quickly. I spelled class wrong. It does have a spell check in there. I just did this to prepare. I've got other classes, but I had to bring this class up to speed so you're not falling behind and we're current and everyone, you already knows what's expected going forward. So this is like a pre-introduction. Those of you who ever take me an online, I always give you an orientation. This is your I gave you a brief orientation in the class. This is a refresher orientation to what happened, because now you actually see I said in the class I'm going to do this. I've already completed. The class shell is done and it's ready to go, and now you know the process, you know the procedures, and once you get it, it makes your life easier. I do my homework here, boom, boom, just like at work. I can't wait till all at the end. I work in the stress. You'll be stressed out. You have other classes, you have papers, everything else. Do what you can now. I help you move along. You always know what your grade is. I'm very consistent. Some individuals say, well, Dr. George, you're anal about all this. In business, I have to know all my costs, my expenses, when my employees come, what it is, because that's part of my expense. Part of my expense that takes away from my revenue. Takes away from my revenue, reduces my profitability. What I'm talking now is business terms. You all know this. I don't have the money, I'm broke. In business, I have to use the vocabulary, the concept. That's why this course interacts. So when you're talking to a business person and he's talking about revenue, he's not talking about profits. I mean, two different things. Revenue means money coming in, or in your case, your paycheck, for lack of a better word. Profit, or what you have, your net income, so after they take the taxes, I pay all the bills and everything else. That's what I have left to spend. Or in marketing, we call that disposable income. That's the money I want to bring from your wallet into my business, okay? Remember, we love, in business, we love all people, every race, every religion, every color, every size, any kind of sexual orientation, as long as you have a MasterCard, Visa, and cash or Bitcoins now, technology. Are we good? All right, so I've got everything done. I'm finished. And once again, go in here, do your homework, look at this. I got a D here for whatever. Oh, yeah, personal, I didn't come in. And I always have your total points out of 45. So you say, hey, well, why do I got a C? You basically divide 45 and 35. You'll see it's a C plus, whatever it comes up with. A little math. I do teach finance once in a while here. I teach at another school finance and I think like a finite math to prepare people for my finance class and for accounting and everything else for those who are a little weak in finance. But you'll do well. Remember, most instructors who teach Introduction to Business at the College of Lake County, we teach a variety of classes, so we don't give you one perspective or the other. We give you the idea, all businesses, from a hot dog stand, push them a little hot dog stand, all the way up to a corporation like a Motorola or a Baxter's or Abbott. They all have to do it just in a little more detail, a little more perplexity, but we all have to market. We all have to know how to hire people. We got to know the legal system. We got to know the environment. We got to know how to price people. We have the accounting. We got to pay taxes. How do I hire another person? Where do I buy from? And all that information is what you're going to get here in a nutshell. You're not going to be an expert, but it's like a smorgasbord. You at least have a solid foundation. So when you take me for marketing or management or some other courses that I may teach, or other instructors or excellent instructors at College of Lake County, many of our instructors here are either adjuncts or what I consider contractors. We bring in life experience. We all, many of us, you have to have a master's degree to teach at the College of Lake County. For those of you who are new, there are a large number of us who have our doctorate degree or PhDs, and we basically are at this level. We teach here because we want to help you be successful. We love teaching to people, but we don't give away the grades. A lot of times you'll read my professor, you'll say, oh, Dr. George is an easy grader. I'm an easy grader if you do all the work. You don't do all the work, it's very objective, but you'll get the grade you deserve. Look at the grade you get here as academic currency. I'm not going to pay someone $50 and he or she didn't do the work or did half the work. I'll give him 25 bucks. and that's an F. That's only half the price. So you're not getting all the money. You can't pay your expenses. All right, I'll see you Monday. Enjoy, and welcome again to the class. Look, I don't want to scare you. I'm talking quick because I want to keep it down. I'm already a little bit over my half an hour, but you'll do well in this class. My job is not to fire. As I managed for a long time. Remember, I graduated from College Lake County. I used to work for ComEd, repaired power line. So I know it's not an easy transition. Working, some of you work, have family commitment, and also going to school. The whole thing comes down to time management. But once you graduate, you are more marketable. You should get a higher raise. You have more to offer to the company. You have experience, practicality, and you know the terminology. So when you're learning the terminology and using this in my papers, in my discussion, whether you take in my class or a psychology class or biology, you want that A in that paper, you better use the terms and conditions on that paper. Again, welcome, and I'll see you Monday, I think at 2:30 in E125. I think that's what I'm teaching. I still got to get myself so I don't forget. Okay? Let's see where I got here. Here we go. I didn't have to pause. I'm at 45 minutes. I apologize, but I've covered a lot. You'll do well, okay? So I'm stopping, and I'll send you an email, an announcement, and make sure your email, you check your Gmails with the College of Lake County, because that's the only way I communicate with you. You have send me the messages. Make sure you put it subject Business 121 and whatever the issue is, and I'll try to get back to you in a couple days. Or when I'm around. Remember, I don't sit by my computer. I teach here and I teach in another school, and I also do my consulting in between. So I'm just as busy as you are, but I want you to have a good experience here, and I want you to learn.